All right, welcome back to the RC Wrench Bench. We are wrapping up the build for the new RC10 SC7, the new short course truck from Team Associated. We are done essentially with the build, and we're just going to do a quick electronics review. Through the assembly, you do, of course, install the servo to the chassis fairly early on. This is a ProTech 575. If I remember correctly, that was a new model somewhat recently. It's got some bonkers specs. It'll run up to 8.4 volts. The speed, and I run this at 7.4. So at 7.4, the speed on it's 0.06 seconds, which is just ridiculously quick. I've had situations where you need to turn the speed down. And then also the torque is, let's see, at 7.4 volts, 511 inches of torque, which is, again, insane. It's probably not necessary to have such a strong servo in a short course truck, but I got a good deal on it, so that's what we run. And again, I think that was new last year as far as a product from ProTech, and I haven't run it that long. I think it was just kind of like the last quarter or so of the racing season last year. This has the Hobbywing XR10 stock spec speed control. I got that new last year mid-season when I had my old XR10 Pro bite the dust. It was an old one that I bought used, and it finally died after several years. So this was a pretty good value. I think it's like 150 bucks. It's 100 amps. It's got the adjustable BEC up to 7.4 volts. It will be fine with a motor down to 10.5 turns, and it is programmable. I don't have the Bluetooth module for this. I just use an old programming box, and that works fine. When I took this out of my old short course truck that I had one of the battery relocation kits in, and so it was just about sitting on top of the motor, so I had to rewire it. So I did go ahead and put 12 gauge wire on it because that's what I happen to have. It's probably overkill, but that's what we've got. I do run these Tekin bullet connectors with the big heatsink grabs. I like something really meaty to hang on to when you're disconnecting the battery cables. This has a Team Exalt Phoenix 13.5 motor. This motor is really strong. I'm never short on speed and power. It does seem to run a little bit warm regardless of the gearing, but it's got great performance, and it's not way too hot, 130 degrees. I think I've had it up to 150 if I run a bunch of practice. So it seems to run a little warm, but it seems to be working out okay. And then lastly, electronics-wise, this has a Witz Racing aluminum motor fan in the back. One of the things when I put the motor fan in, I thought maybe I did something wrong because the slipper adjustment is right in front of the fan, and on the X-Ray it's on the other side. So you can't just do like a real quick slipper adjustment with the fan in the way. So that's kind of a goofy design. But anyway, maybe there's another trick to it. I suppose you could grab onto that lock nut and turn the spur gear. Would that work? I don't know. I guess it's not that big of a deal to loosen up the fan so that you can make an adjustment, but it seems goofy to have the fan right in the way. Oh yeah, and as far as the receiver goes, I use a Sanwa MT5 transmitter, and this is their, let's see, RX3 493i, which is a fine receiver. It's FH5. They did last year, I think, start releasing kind of a budget-friendly FH5 receiver direct from Sanwa. I think they realized they were losing some market to some of the clone receivers that were only like 50 bucks. So the budget one from Sanwa now I think is only about $60. I run one of those in one of my other kits, but this was one that I picked up a while ago. I'm not too careful about wiring. I like it to be fairly neat. I probably could shorten up the leads for the servo. The servo has a really long lead to it. The sensor cable, I've taken around the outside of the battery holder. I just put a little bit of double-sided tape, holds that flush right against the backside there. I think that actually came out pretty well. And then for the fan cable, I ran that on the outside of the sensor cable. And again, just use some tape to tape it down. And that, you know, looks neat, which is good. These cables on the transponder are so stiff, I'm always worried about breaking them. I probably could shorten that up. I just hate dealing with shortening those things. They're so tiny, and dealing with the little crimper and all that junk. Over time, I probably will, because this looks just kind of messy there, but at least it's fairly organized. So that really completes the build. I'll probably do a final kind of review of the assembly. I haven't run it yet, so I don't really have anything to say regarding its performance. So again, it's the RC10 SC7. That was a quick electronics review, and we're getting to the end of the road with this one, and I'll be racing it this weekend for the first time. It'll be kind of a shakedown run. I don't have huge expectations, but we'll see how that goes. Thanks for tuning in to the RC Wrench Bench. Subscribe if you like the content. Give it a thumbs up if this video was one that you like, and make sure that if you have questions or comments to leave them in the comments. Thanks, and happy racing.